Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, today on Horoshiche, and actually this week, we're going to be giving you a triple pack, I think, from the Super Tournament that happened about a week ago now. But focusing on today, Rang, who is bringing what to the fray, and how are they paying for it?
Left hand side in blue, we have Ort playing as First Slovas with flatline income. Right hand side, we have AmberT playing as Ninth Guard Cavalry with flatline income. Very flatline income for a very flat map.
Oh man, they've been working out those abs. What can I
Mm-hmm.
say? We can see AmberT actually as well. It's looking to drop and make it rain over here on the western kind of central side of the town. Always a good call, and actually, I think that we've been seeing that more and more often as openings. In fact, I think Ort's got one of those as well.
Yep.
The 40 mil CP, CSABA. I was calling it the CSABA, but the FAO right there.
Yeah, off maps are always a pretty good idea to bring to a town fight, because you don't really have to fight over the town as hard if you just level the bloody thing.
Well, and I think we've been seeing a lot of area denial openings.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite the same thing we've been seeing actually, as well as the super early officer over here as well. But is that just an area denial thing for just to make sure your opponent doesn't get the town, or why is that we've seen so much early FAO play?
Yeah, pretty much this area denial, clear it out, and you could either use that to delay the enemy or try to do a counter push once the artillery drops off.
What we can see already is that 3 squads of the Hungarians are going to get caught out over here in this town, shellacked by that 152 millimeter artillery. But looks like Or is eager to return the favor. And actually, I'm kind of curious about these Shermans over here. Oh my god, this entire town. I can see the property values going real down real quick here.
This level and the whole bloody thing. Down south, we got a little bit of a push across the hill here with 2-man flamethrower teams and 2-man flamethrower teams. I think flamethrowers are going to take the victory in this one.
Well, it's not going to be hot in that forest tonight. Actually, I was focused more on the fact that we have this JU-87 coming in, but a super early 37 mil might chase him away.
Does he drop the bombs off?
Nope. Nope, no bombs. He still got them. Nope. I can understand to a certain extent. If I can kind of nitpick about something, I really do wish they changed that particular behavior from planes, but I can understand why they got it the way that it is.
Yeah, that 2-star 37mm is absolutely deadly. A lot of people do like bringing out that infantry commander right now, immediately, because the extra veterancy is a huge buff. And it's pretty cheap, infantry commander. It's only 75 points.
I'm kind of fascinated to see how these Terrans over here are going to try to match up against those MCHS. We do know in a straight-up fight, they are not going to take it, but in a town fight with all the extra sight blockers and things like that, maybe that could be a turnaround.
Yeah, if they can shoot enough at the Shermans, they can cause critical hits. At the same time, however, Shermans, they have stabilizers. You got a lot of those stabilizers to keep you stable when shooting.
Well, I'm watching this next artillery barrage come on down, and honestly, yep, the Kazakhs are going to find themselves getting obliterated, and that's a problem. When you don't have horses, it's so much easier to kill an entire squad. But that's the second one over here from Ort. AmberT's deploying his last one over here in the central position at the same time he's bringing in an entire battalion's worth of Kazakhs.
ST2 infantry spam maybe changed, but not right now. It's a lot of Kazakhs, Khan. That should be enough to take the town.
Well, and I'm trying to see the positioning for them. Actually, I kind of like the fact that we're not just seeing that I'm going to put, an entire battalion in one spot. We actually have a nice, consistent, measured approach across the entire central part of the front.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. It's really much better than just having them in one big blob to get off-map artillery. And I think this map has just been under a constant state of artillery bombardment since the start of the match.
Understandable, given the circumstances. I guess I'm trying to see. Yeah, I guess the first Lovos is going to suffer badly if the Shermans get outside this central, let's say, crossroads. Because all of their infantry AT tends to be rather close range.
Yeah, it's mainly just the anti-tank grenades that the Hussarooks get. The leaders do a Panzerfaust, or Faust Patrouille, which is...
Yes.
Yeah, that's not too bad, actually, but... Yeah, it's It's really, with close range AT, you're just relying on the cheap light tank spam of the Tehran runs.
I guess, I mean, when it comes down to it, though, all the Kazakhs, these guys used to be ghastly and just absolutely terrifying. They've
Mhm.
been slightly mitigated, but in these numbers, is there really anything that can stand against them?
Hungarians, I'll give it to be fair, Hungarians are pretty good infantry with all their
That's true.
fast firing rifles, so I mean, it's really just going to come down to a quantity versus quality thing, and right now, a lot of Orcs infantry are buffed up to 2-star veterancy. Same thing with the Kazakhs as well, to be fair. But defensive positions.
Yeah, I think I'm curious to see, though. The Shermans, I think, are definitely the force multiplier to be contended
Mm-hmm.
with.
Yeah, not being able to actually knock out those Shermans, I think Hungarian infantry are just going to slowly get picked off one by one. We got the 40 mil and the Tehran, and also a Pack 40 nearby, but they're not getting anywhere nearby to do any actual shooting.
Trying to consider this over here from AmberT's perspective. Now, if you're AmberT and you're looking at this, middle of the map is now blue. Ooh, where we have a lag in here, last time we have that 40M. Probably should. Oh wow, didn't get rockets off at all. That's
Oh,
strange.
it's okay. It's another 40 mm on the Orch side. Oh, a 40 mm, and I got more
Hmm.
Shermans being brought in. But you were saying?
Well, I was trying to figure out if I was trying to redeploy here, what would I be doing? And I can't help but feel. You see that we have this Maxim battalion?
Mm-hmm.
Probably push west from there. I can't help but feel like that's an opportunity that really should be seized.
Yeah, if he can move onto the little dirt path road of the buildings, yeah, it's a great position to get some long-range machine gun fire support onto the northern edge of town. And yeah, his town fight's going really well for AmberT. He's pushing hard with the boatload of Kazakhs and Shermans galore.
I guess I'm trying to think about artillery options for the first of us. I mean, we're not going to see, the Carl Gustav kind of railguns, obviously.
No.
But I'm trying to think if were I, or maybe maybe a mortar or two that could at least retard the progress. We can see right now we have a massive A move being pushed forward here.
Oh yeah, just the Soviet horde, so to speak, just crossing this open field. It's going to be a little bit deadly, but a lot of, quite a decent amount of what stuff has been pinned down. I mean, it's only like at one tank at shooting, and he only has 2 machine guns and a low caliber HE gun.
I guess I'm not entirely sure exactly what you think when they said that it's been pinned down, because we have those guys coming into the southwest now
Oh
of
yeah,
that church that are definitely making some good progress.
the Suruks are coming in. That's just a lot of dudes. And that's probably quite expensive in terms of A-phase cards of Kazakh, so it'll be interesting to see how much infantry AmberT has early on, because Ninth Guards is not exactly known for being a good C tier or C phase division.
Certainly true, but I kind of feel that if he was expecting to just stay in phase A and B, the economy might have been a little bit different in terms of
Mm-hmm.
choice. So I'm expecting to see at least a couple of really, really late game cards. Maybe the Kazakhs just kind of holding it to be held on to.
Yeah.
Um, we are seeing perhaps a potential push in the north. In fact, yeah, I would not be surprised if this causes a real change in the focus here by Ort. 3 Terrans moving on in, a couple of squads of infantry as well, even as AmberT brings in Superiors, which I think will be more than enough to finally push that last western part of the town.
Yeah. Yeah, Northern Push is definitely a very good idea. Try to relieve some of the pressure from the town. And looking at defenses that AmberT has, he only has like 3 Kazaki scrolls for PPSH. It's pretty scary at close range, but with the armor support coming in and Hungarian infantry being Hungarian infantry, I don't think it's going to be enough.
I'm going to check that out for a second, real quick. That's the Huzaroks coming in early. Now, we just see a couple of, actually, at least one of the Shermans in the center going down, courtesy of that long range 75 millimeter cannon.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I think we're going to see a rather panicked reinforcement point happen to the north as we go right into Phase B.
Yeah. And we got a bunch of those, low passes coming into the town. I really like how AmberT's flanking the Shermans around the northern edge of town. They are going to start taking some fire from the 40 mil, but that shouldn't be all that much of a threat. But this is looking really good for AmberT. Taking that town by B phase essentially has a huge advantage, because once you get the town, it's pretty easy to hold it.
Certainly true. And while that 40 millimeter is not in and of itself extremely terrifying, wait, what the heck happened to the north?
The Kazaki PPSHs are dying.
They're dying, yes, but they definitely killed a couple of tanks. In fact, they killed the first two lead tanks of the Tehran. The last one is retreating in, at least light disorder. And three T-34-76s are moving on in. So this might be the death of this northern Hungarian push.
Yeah, this is some reinforcements being brought in, which is not the case. You'd think maybe if the Hungarian troops on the other side of the northern hill maybe to push up to try and reinforce this push.
But apparently they don't like those guys very much because they're not moving. But with that, the last of the infantry does go down. And the T-34s, well, they, shockingly enough, have surprising amount of vision on that infantry.
Yeah.
Did not expect that.
Same. T-34s usually blind, or tanks in general are usually blind as a bat, so great surprise. Unless this is doing a fire order, but I don't think that's the case.
Well, if you look at the vision for them, they, pretty much all of them can see at least a 50 or 100 meters into the lower part of that forest.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually getting a Kazakh squad of the SVTs moving on in as well to kind of spot for them, so that's going to work out rather well.
Oh.
But the center is ruptured. We actually just have this last line of Hungarians. And I'd be surprised if this lasts more than a couple of minutes in the center here.
Yeah, it's just... He's got a little bit of a foothold in the town. The main thing is he has the Panzers helping out, and at long range they can defeat the Shermans. And he needs to kill those Shermans if he wants a chance in hell in taking that town.
Well, killing Shermans is nice, but if you can't hold the ground, and the HE for the Panzers is not really anything to write home about, what can be done?
Hmm. Bringing in some support guns, I believe. Or,
yes.
Yeah, support guns to help out in the town fight, which is definitely a very good call. But yeah, he's slowly getting pushed out, one squad at a time.
Indeed. And I'm fascinated to see, since the anti-air net, such as it was, isn't there any longer. I'd be kind of fascinated to see another attack plane moving on in, just to kind of clean up or at least panic that column of Jagdpanzers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently I don't need too much help, because one of them going down already, and I don't know if there's a consequence of the Sherman fire or what.
I think so, yeah. I think it was like that the extra veterancy on the Sherman with the accuracy is it's not increasing the penetration chance, but it's increasing their chance to actually hit him, which is more than good enough.
If you shoot him often enough, that's going to be more than you need. Mm-hmm. The northern bulge, by the way, is going to get cleaned up as 5 more squads of Kazakhs being brought on in. But by the same token, Huzarok's being thrown into the center in an attempt to arrest some of this momentum.
Yeah.
Because right now we have one Lovich and we have the Hussar PK. And as laudable as it is to have this officer leading from the front, I don't think he's going to make it.
Yeah, losing that commander would be a pretty huge blow. I think that's definitely going to be the case now.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Canada just fell apart in the center for once he ran out of off-map artillery. He needed some regular artillery or more off-map to try and keep the Cossacks at bay, but god damn, that's a lot of Cossacks. Now, I mean, looking at the center, there's not a whole lot of them left. It's really just the Shermans holding it.
Well, here's the lag coming on in, and this is going to cause quite a bit of consternation.
And Hatches just, they just got hit by that lag spike.
Ooh, how I never made that observation before. Damn.
I know, we've been doing this game for like a bloody year now, and we've never made a lag spike joke about the lag.
Well, because in Soviet, internet runs you basically.
Hmm.
Um, Another lag is more the HE rockets, such as they are. Oh no, he's going for the cluster bomb Ju-87.
Yeah.
So
Oh, look.
this could be the savior of mankind.
He's spreading. He's spreading. Your Sherman's like you spread
Oh
butter.
no, never
Oh,
mind.
no, no. Yeah. And he's not going to be saving much when you hit the ground at very fast speed.
Well, that's what happens, man. You can't lag spring. You can't lag splane.
Yep, and holy crap, the center has just got completely wiped out now from all the hatchers, all the Hungarian infantry. This is, I mean, right now it's only 14-10, but I think it's pretty clear to see who's in the
Who's in
dominant
the driver's
position.
seat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised how well Otto's continued to hold his northern side, just the few Hosa rocks. He still has the flag, which is the important part, all things considered. And down south, I mean, it's even Stevens, but I mean, Orc can still. I want to say he can pull it back, but their Sherman's just too much of a bloody menace, and the hatches are his best bet with dealing them and Pack 40s, but apart from that, you don't have a lot of good long range anti tank options with Lovas.
Well, and considering how the current level of Hetzers are here in the middle of this map, I mean, we have 3, 4 of them all completely gone and a couple hundred meters from each other.
Yeah. The Sherman's just got too much.
I have been impressed that the northern push here, first of all, has not been reinforced, like you said before, but further that the northern push has not been cleaned up. We're starting to see that happen now, as the 5 SVT squads are going to curve in behind those 2 squads of Hizoroks, as well as having 3 more being brought on in, still with those T-34 sitting in support. But, yeah, I think there's definitely a missed opportunity, as MCHAs without machine gun ammo, but with plenty of 75mm shells, are starting to rotate to the north to help clean things up. And then back to the south as another Hetzer comes in.
It's really coming down to the armoured plate at this point, I think, if Orc wants a chance to actually getting into that town.
I can't help but feel that perversely, the Hetzers one-on-one, like you said from a distance, own every piece of Russian equipment on the map.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to really keep in mind that there's still that air power that we had to deal with before.
Yeah.
And that's there goes the rest of that thing is cleaned up.
And the Germans are all bunched up together at 3-star veterancy. That's a pretty scary sight. I mean, the accuracy on that is just insane once you get to 3-star. It's like 33% increase. Or 33% increase in your base accuracy.
Well, it doesn't help either when you have things like a 75, 57mm just 2 taking out Hetzers.
Mm-hmm.
And more rocket planes. So definitely Rocket Man over here. And north we're seeing a bit of a push across that saddle by some Kazakh squads.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely at this point, AmberT has more than enough units up north to try and retake, or not retake, but capture its entire northern side. It's even starting to push from the south a little bit with the Maxims and Ostana Saparis.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking for the Ostnazes. I was like, I'm not seeing too many Ostnazes.
Oh, that's very sneaky up north.
There, oops, yeah, there we go. I thought you said for some reason down south, and I was like, no one's really been moving down south, so I was quite lost for a second there. But there really is one thing in the north that can kind of keep these T-34s at bay. So if the 40mm goes down, this is going to be pretty much all she wrote, I would think.
Yeah.
Because the Langsoros, well, the Hungarian flame troopers are not going to hold the tide here.
Nope. Maybe his 40mm AT cannon in the northern flank might get a sneaky T-34 kill, but he's kind of running out into the open instead of staying into the nice covered defenses of that bushy forest.
And revealing himself to those 3 squads S3Ts is
Yep.
definitely a good way to earn yourself that letter back home. So good freaking luck to the north. 2 squads actually. Oh, Nimrod in, but Ort says screw it.
Yeah,
Justifiable.
KD is. I kind of expected that. 1,400 difference.
Well, when you have a Hetzer, excuse me, an Ebcha, that's got 1, 2, 3, 4 vehicle ground kills, and I want to see. Oh wow! Shockingly enough, there wasn't a whole lot of standouts. Of just that the kills that were made were definitely trading up.
Yeah, AmberT just did a very good job of that, like combined arms pushing the town with the horde of infantry, and then the backup Shermans with the veterancy
Indeed.
buffing stuff up to get the victory. And I think it's sort of a good replay to showcase like good use of commanders. Because by God, as you can see, just having a commander in the right place and the right time will just make your forces infinitely better.
That's certainly true. That's certainly true. But I mean, you know, going to go and theorycraft after the fact, how does Hungarians play against Ninth Cav other than saying, I'm going to hold out until Phase C?
I think on that map, it's really better for the Hungarians to try and push on the flanks because in that center point, it is in the town. It's pretty close range, which is what you want to play as Hungarians because you've got like good close range tanks. But the flanks, it's much more secure in that fact, where you can spam those turn runs and Hungarian infantry to push through and blow stuff up with your fast fire and anti-tank cannons.
Indeed. Indeed. I mean, we definitely do malign occasionally the 40 millimeter pop guns that the Hungarians do have. But I think some skillful deployment, the stealth from them is definitely, I would argue, more than able to compensate for the kind of low penetration. You just got to be
Yep.
really sneaky.
And they shoot fast.
Exactly. Exactly. When all else fails, throw more shells.
Yep.
The Imperial Guard way, really. But any final thoughts, sir?
None whatsoever.
Well, folks, in that case, then I think I'm all set to go too. So I guess until Thursday, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo, take it easy.